So let's start. I will share my screen to share with you where you can find plenty of information about liquid learning. Can you see my screen with the Campus Online?
Yes.
Here you have the
Yes.
guide for professors, guide for liquid learning. And inside this guide, you have plenty of information about the different type of session that you can have in this new liquid learning. As you can see, you can have hybrid sessions where you combine a student in the class with a student following the session remotely. This is called hybrid session. Then you have video conference. These two are called synchronous sessions. This means all are connected at the same time. Okay? Inside the classroom, where you will find some students inside the classroom and some of them following the session remotely. And the video conference, all of them are following the session online. According to your program, you will receive information about the percentage of the session in each one of these formats. For example, in the international MBA program, they prefer most of the session in a synchronous way. And only, let's say, 10% of the session asynchronous way, including the exams, quizzes, assignment. But in other programs, for example, university, the percentage of synchronous session is only 60%. And the other sessions are asynchronous, quizzes, exams, assignment, and all kinds of activities that you can do, not in a synchronous way, but not all connected at the same time. Examples of these are discussion forums, group coaching, non-class learning. And today we are going to focus on these non-class learning activities through exams, quizzes, assignment, etc. And why is this so important? Because, as you can imagine, you cannot do an exam for your student where you need to pass papers, pencils, any kind of thing, because this can contain the virus. So they say all the activities related with exams, quizzes, etc. need to be done remotely, because we cannot put together more than 25, 26 students in the same classroom. So I'm going to share my presentation just to follow the topics I would like to introduce to you. Okay? One of these type of activity, by the way, I will share with you on this presentation, is the quizzes, exams, and the assignment. As this is a little bit confusing for a student, I propose you to be very structured when you explain your syllabus. Probably you have selected inside the syllabus the type of session for each one of your sessions. But I propose you, if you want, to use a kind of Excel file where, using colors, you let the students know the type of session you are going to follow. For example, you can see this is the structure for the course Operation Management for the International MBA program. And using colors, here you can see in yellow, we have the midterm, the 26th of May, and the final exam, the 23rd of June. I also remark the session in forum and the session with assignment. In this case, the assignment is in purple color. And I write this inside the announcement. It's a permanent announcement where the student can always read and read again just to see the structure of your course. Normally the exam and some assignment, they are incorporated inside the evaluation criteria. It used to be an important percentage of the evaluation criteria. So it's very important to design the midterm and the final exam very well, and also the assignment. Today we're going to talk about assignment, quizzes, exams, and the way to prepare and the way to even to do the proctoring. This means to take care that everybody is following the rules. So let's discover together some of them. Feel free to interrupt me whenever you want. You are only 3 professors, so this can be customized for you in the case you have any doubt. Written assignment is a nice way to incorporate an assignment contributing to the learning process of our student. Here I have some examples I use in my programs. For example, using a video, it's an animated video about the Lego story. I propose them to watch the video and then to answer some questions. If you are introducing a new topic, you can even record a short video with the theoretical framework, explaining the student in 5 minutes or 6 minutes the theoretical framework, and later they watch the Lego video and answer my question there. Another way to do this assignment is to introduce the theoretical framework at the end of one session and let the student know that they need to do the assignment during a time. Assignment is very interesting because you can let the student some time to do the assignment. This means it can be available for 24 hours, for example. During that time, the student will watch the theoretical video, if you have one, or they will read the technical note or the chapter of the book that you would like to introduce, and then they have to apply this. You can have one assignment for everybody, but when you let the student 24 hours to do so, you need to know that they can, let's say, contact each other. So it will be easier, it will be very easy for them to share information. So a way to avoid this sharing information is to do the assignment at one specific time. You say, okay, you can open the file at 10 o'clock in the morning. Imagine that you have a session for that assignment and you let them, let's say, 1 hour and a half to do the assignment. With all this assignment, take into account that if one assignment is equivalent to one session, the time for them to do the assignment should be approximately one session. Because if not, you can have some complaints about the time to do the assignment. If you have a very complex assignment and it takes a lot of time for the student to do that, that will be more than one session. So, more examples about assignment. As you know, there is inside the menu in the Blackboard, there is a space called assignment. And there you can share all the information with the student, make the assignment available whenever you want the student to do that. And even you can establish a time to do the assignment. You say, okay, we are going to do the assignment in a synchronous way. Every student at the same time doing the assignment, then you make the assignment available at 10 o'clock in the morning, and you let them 1 hour and 20 minutes or 1 hour and a half to do the assignment. If you want them to do the assignment during 24 hours, then you say, okay, the assignment will be available, and you can select that when you create the assignment from 10 o'clock in the morning Monday till 10 o'clock in the morning Tuesday. Okay. Here you have another example of assignment. Is about Starbucks. I introduced it. I invite the student to read a technical note, a chapter of the book about sustainability and resilience, and then I share with them some multimedia material, in this case 3 videos, and I ask them to solve some challenges. When we talk about learning, there is a technique called challenge-based learning. That means that you create some challenges for the student. You can do that in a teamwork activity if you want. Even if you want to avoid copying or sharing information, you can give every group one different company to analyze. So group A will analyze Disney, group B will analyze Coca-Cola, group C will analyze whatever. So they don't have all the same assignment. Or even you can invite the student to select one company. Okay, select one company and analyze these three challenges: sustainability in that company or resilience in that company. So it's a very nice way to apply what you are learning to one specific company, to one specific industry or whatever. I use IKEA a lot because I love IKEA operation management or supply chain management. So I create challenges to be done, remember, as assignment inside Campus Online. It's equivalent to one session or even to two sessions. If you consider that the assignment is long and they need more time than one session, then you can use a double session. Probably you have your syllabus defined. Don't worry, you can apply this for the future. Okay? So another possibility is oral exam. So if you have no more, let's say that 20 students, you can create an oral exam and you can invite each student to take the exam during one specific time inside the session. For example, Paul will take the exam from 10 to 10:10. Miriam will take the exam from 10:10 to 10:20, etc. It's very important to coordinate very well the schedule of the assignment, take into account the technical consideration and the technical time that some student will need. Try to check everything before. About the exam, remember, all the exam will be remotely because we cannot share papers, we cannot share information, or we cannot put together more than 20 students in the same room. So it's a little bit different than the traditional exam. Why? Because normally it's an open book exam. So you can imagine you cannot control every student if they are sharing information with the smartphone or if they are navigating in the web, etc. But I will introduce you today one tool created just to do the proctoring of the exam. It has some technical problem, but I will explain it later for you, just in case you would like to do the to copy the same scenario than a class synchronous exam. So this means that you should try to rethink your exams. It's very difficult to do one multiple choice exam for everybody because they can share information, they can send each other emails, WhatsApp, etc. So the best, well, I will introduce to you several ways to do that. You can do a test exam, don't worry, because you can create an assignment inside Campus Online with a multiple choice exam. And even you can create a pool of questions. So when every student will click on the start the exam, they will receive a different question in different order. So you can create a pool of questions with equivalent difficulty, and the exam will not be the same for everybody because each question will be from the pool, altering the order of the answers and altering everything, so it's more difficult to copy.
Felipe,
Again,
I have a question.
Go ahead, Alejandro.
Regarding to the exams preparations and design, do we have a specific tools for, I mean, delivery the exams. For example, as you said, imagine I prepare one model or two models with different type of questions, and I want to share this exam with the class. Do we have a specific tool, for example, that can change randomly the questions? So
yes, Alejandro, I have some print screen here about that.
Okay, good.
At the same time, remember inside the Blackboard guide for liquid learning, there you have a complete guide to prepare your random exam. Okay. But I will share some print screen. But first, when you are preparing the exam, you need to think very well if this exam will be in a synchronous way or in an asynchronous way. This is very important because when it's in a synchronous way, the challenge is to create an exam where they don't have free time to share information. So challenge your student with the time. And also, as you know, in the business school and the HST and the School of Laws, etc., normally we use the Gauss-Bell grading. So a way to grade the student is to prepare a challenging exam in terms of time. Okay? And it's a way to avoid copying. Only the student with a very good preparation will be able to finish the exam. Okay? So if they don't have free time and it's in a synchronous way, the probability to share information between them is lower. Okay? Another possibility is the same than assignment. Do you remember? You can leave, the student can have 24 hours to do the exam. So there is, again, inside assignment, one possibility that they can take the exam during 24 hours, but the time of the exam will be always the one that you define, 1 hour and 20 minutes, etc. So in the moment when they open the file inside assignment, everything is registered. So they have 1 hour and a half to submit the exam. And even there is one possibility inside assignment to submit the exam automatically when the time is over. Okay, Alejandro? So here you have the menu inside the Blackboard, and there is one part of the menu in assessment that is called assignment. Can you see it? Inside assignment, you can have different possibilities. You can have a test exam, a survey, or an assignment that will be a written exam, etc. Okay? So step number one is inside assignment to create the test, defining all the different variables that you have there. The time to take the exam, if it will be synchronous or asynchronous, the submission automatically or not, and even they can take the whole exam, and if they are over time, it will be marked for you. So you can grade those students with less evaluation, okay? So step number two, the one is to create the name of the test or the assignment and the different time table, etc. Create questions, and there you can have multiple choice. You can have, as you can see, this is a print screen for you about the different alternatives inside the test. You can have calculated formula, calculated numeric, 5 response, multiple choice, opinion, multiple answer, etc. So it's up to you to define the type of exam. And here is where you select the test options, make the link available, yes or not. You can prepare your exam and only make your exam available when they can take the exam. In number 4, there you can see auto submit. This means that when the time is over, you will receive the file of the student automatically. so they cannot go over time. And there you can see at the same time the display time of the exam. And if, for example, you select a multiple choice exam, a test exam, even you can select the right answer when you prepare the exam, and they can receive automatically the grade of the exam, because it's very easy to grade a multiple choice exam. Only one or two answers are right. So you, when you prepare the exam, you also indicate the right answer, and they will receive automatically not only the grade, but also the right answer for their wrong answers. Okay, is that clear? Perfect. So everything is inside Campus Online, assignment, and takes a minute to navigate. I have selected the main print screen when you are creating one exam or one quiz. So it will be easier for you to prepare the exam. There is, as you can see, point number 9. This is very interesting. They can answer one question, and when this question is answered, they don't have the possibility to go back. So again, this reduces the possibility to copy, but it's up to you. I mean, I don't like this option because normally one strategy to take one exam is to do it very quick and later to review, just in case you are not sure about one specific answer. But just for your information, you can have this possibility, only going forward and not backward, just to avoid copying. Okay? And again, there you can see the test presentation can be in a random way. Here, Alicia, Alejandro, and Cristiane, you have the tool to prepare a pool of questions. In the case you want to do test or multiple choice, it's okay, because you can prepare a pool of questions. In this case, this exam is composed by 3 questions, and you prepare in each one of the pools one different question, and the system will pick up one of the questions randomly, and even will alter the order, okay, the order of the answers. So the challenge here for the professor is to prepare questions with equivalent difficulty, because remember, our students talk to each other, and they can consider that one question was easier than the other. Our students complain about everything. Again, in the guide for professional and go in liquid learning, you have videos for everything. I put the link about how to create a multiple choice exam with a pool of questions and with the option that the system will prepare randomly, selecting one question for each one of the pools. Okay? Here you have the print screen. You can select the pools, and then you select you create a question, the different answers, and you indicate that the exam will be randomly. There you have the option, create random block, okay? And some videos for you to prepare this. So again, multiple choice is okay, but then I recommend you to do it in a synchronous way, not in an asynchronous way, but all the students at the same time. This was challenging the last term, because last term we are suffering from the pandemic, and some students were in a different time zone. So for the student in America, we needed to prepare an exam to be done not in a synchronous way, because some sessions were during the sleep time for them. So, but now they have, let's say, selected student in the same time zone. So my recommendation always for you with assignment and with exams is to do them in a synchronous way, remotely, but everybody at the same time, to reduce the possibility of copying or doing some bad behaviors by students. So inside the guide, you have some recommendation. Whenever you create an open book exam, I think the challenge here is to prepare an exam for the student that they need to think about the application of the theoretical framework to what you are, where they can find in the exam. So they cannot copy. An example for one type of question about a written, I'm talking now about written exams, okay? Is to invite them to select one company, to prepare something that they cannot find on internet. As you know, we have a tool called Tuniting that you can have the possibility to see if they have copied each other or if they have copied something from internet and paste in the exam. Tuniting is one tool to avoid this behavior. To prepare an exam to be done in an open book structure is challenging because remember, you need to avoid the possibility to copy something from internet and to paste in the exam. And I have received some answers in the past. When I grade those exams, I say, okay, that answer is the answer on internet, but it's not the answer about what we studied together. So I grade those students with less evaluation than one student answering what we covered during the session. So,
sorry, Felipe.
Yeah,
I have a question. When you use random questions or when you use Turnitin, things like that to make sure, to prevent cheating as much as you can, are you honest with your students about it? Do you tell them up front, listen guys, there are going to be random questions, I'm going to be tracking, so that there are no surprises, because people then get very angry.
Yeah, that's true. You have several options to let the student know the rules of the exam.
Okay.
You can write the rules on the syllabus, Alicia, from the very beginning, or when you use the assignment inside the Blackboard, they can have a text that they need to read before opening the file, okay, Alicia, with the indication. Okay, so there will be 10 multiple choice questions. The system will select the question randomly, so please do not share information, do not copy, and remember to challenge the student with the time. So only the very good student with a very good preparation will finish the exam. And if you haven't studied anything at all, you need a lot of time to navigate through the campus online, etc. So yes, my tip for you is to let the student know everything about the exam. Transparency.
Okay, thank you.
So they let's say, you reduce the possibility to copy, okay? There you have some recommendation in our guide inside Campus Online, guide for liquid learning. Normally it's an open book, but I will explain for you later one interesting tool to do the proctoring, to take care of the exam so they cannot copy. And you make sure, because one possibility is that the student in front of the computer is not your student. It's another student, or it's a friend, or whatever. So there is a tool called SMOWL, S-M-O-W-L. Okay? There is one tutorial video video tutorial inside the guide. It's a 10 minutes tutorial video using Adobe Connect. This tool is to take a traditional exam where the professor is looking at the students, okay? It's, let's say, very modern, and it's not, it contains several technical problems. So I don't recommend to use it, but I propose you, just for your information, to watch this 10 minutes video. So this is connected again to Campus Online. You have to create inside the menu, and in the tutorial video, in the video tutorial, they explain how to incorporate a small inside your menu. Every student needs to submit to this tool with the picture of the student at least 24 hours before the exam. And the tool is basically to, you can see here, these 4 points. Let's read them together. You should be seated in front of the computer for the length of the exam. You should not leave the computer until finished. This is the same scenario than an exam taken in one class. The second thing that the system will control, the person in front of the computer is a student, and nobody is around the student, okay? The third thing that the system control, that you don't go, that you don't use your smartphone, okay? Another thing that this tool will control, that you don't navigate on the internet, only you are inside the Campus Online, okay? And how does this system work? Well, it takes pictures of each student, okay? Here you have one example. It will take randomly in several minutes of the exam. It will take some picture of the exam, and at the end of the exam, the system will send you a file with the behavior of each student, okay? For example, this is a picture of one student that had some problem connecting to the exam. So she couldn't enter the exam, and she went through several pages to contact the professor. This is an example of the report that you receive. When this is like a highlight, when everything is in green, everything is okay. When you see several points in red color or in yellow color, that student had one problem. And this is an example of the report that you receive, and the possibilities: green color, correct user, and the different possibilities with different colors. Black, red means that nobody is in front of the screen, incorrect user, more than one person, webcam covered, wrong lighting or pausing, etc., etc., etc. Use of a smartphone, going to another web page, etc. So this is one tool, but whenever you watch the video, I have never used this because this is very new. Whenever you watch the video, you can see that there are some technical problems. For example, if the picture is taken just at the moment that when one student is doing the clicking to go to the next question, you have an error. So, and at the same time, some student with problem with the cams, again, you will have some technical problem. But it's a way that IE is giving the possibility to professor to do a traditional exam. And remember, you need to do first to create in your menu on the Campus Online this to add to your Campus Online this tool, small, and then invite the student to create the user with the picture of the student at least 24 hours before the exam, so you can control all of them using this tool. So, just to review what we have covered. We have seen different options to incorporate this type of session, that is assignment, quizzes, exams, etc. Remember, all the exams will be using the type of session remotely. You will not have an exam in the IE building because, and forget about papers or taking the exam in the traditional handwritten. Then you can create assignment. The assignment can be done in a synchronous way or in an asynchronous way. There you invite students or group of students to prepare an assignment that you design. I recommend you to be very creative. Remember that you can give each student the possibility to select one company, or you can even give a list of companies where they can select. You can share a Google Drive document if you have a list of companies. So when one student selects one company, that company is the one for that student, and so you avoid repetition. There are millions of companies, so it's a good way to invite the student to select one company that you like to analyze, or one topic or whatever. Then you can do oral exam. In this case, that will be individually, and I recommend to establish very well the schedule of the exam. And even if you have, for example, 10-minute oral exam, don't put the next student just at the end of the 10 minutes. Just have some time for the student to connect and to start the exam. This is only recommended for courses with less than 20 students. As you can imagine that you have an oral exam for an international MBA program with 50 students in the class. It will be harder to prepare the oral exam. And then you can have the written exam. The written exam can be multiple choice, test exam, numerical, short answers, etc. And you can prepare the exam using assignment. You can create a pool of questions with equivalent difficulty. So the exam will not be the same for every student. And the challenge here is to prepare very well the same difficulty questions just to avoid unfair situation. And remember that the recommendation is all the students taking the exam at the same time, just to avoid the possibility to share information, to copy, etc. Remember that everything can be selected about the timetable of the exam, and remember that you have the possibility to auto-submit, to select auto-submit, so you will receive the exam just at the end of the time available for the exam. And even you can select the possibility to prohibit going backward. What is the option about overtime? When you, here. In point number 3, set timer. When you select off, a student have the option to continue when the time expires. It will appear with an overtime label in the grade center. So you can select auto-submit yes or not. If you select not, you will receive information in different color, or the system will indicate for you the part of the exam that was answered in overtime. So my recommendation is just to navigate a little bit. You can create an exam in one of your existing courses just to practice, because you can later delay that. But remember, please, if you are practicing, try to select not making that practice available for the student. Okay, so any doubt, any comment? And remember, we also discovered together how important is to define if it's an open book. The only option to do not an open book but a closed book exam is using this tool, small. we discover together how does it work. It takes a picture of the student, and you need to select this tool to appear in your Blackboard. In the video inside the guide is very well explained, and you need to invite 24 hours before the exam to student to submit the profile with the picture just to participate in this proctoring. So any question, any doubt? How are you going to do your exams in your courses? Christiane, are you doing exams, quizzes, or how do you plan to do that in the new normal? Connect your microphone, Christiane, please.
Yeah, I have a supervisor who does it,
Perfect.
who makes all the exams.
So you are going to follow the traditional way, and a supervisor will control the student not copying, no?
Yeah, I mean, she will use all these tools.
Perfect, perfect.
Actually, I think the exams are already made.
Perfect, perfect. And is that for university or for business school or?
Sorry?
Are you teaching in the university? Are you university? Yeah. Perfect,
yes.
Perfect. So, yes, it's different the scenario of the university because the exam is established for all the courses. So probably they will use a small to apply what we have discovered today. It's different than for the other schools, business school, etc., where it's up to the professor. It's not so standardized. What about you, Alejandro? How are you planning to do these exams or multiple choice or whatever?
Yeah. Okay, in my case, I'm teaching in the university, in the architecture and design school. So what I'm basically thinking, no, in my syllabus, I have 2 exams, a midterm exam and a final exam that are completed with other kind of assignments. You know, I will use different kind of...
How many students do you have?
18.
Alejandro?
18.
So
yeah.
It's a very reduced number, and there you have plenty of different possibilities because it's only 18 students. You can even prepare one different exam for each one.
Even for, yeah.
Very customized, and you can use the oral exam as well. So it's totally different than in a standard course where you have 50 for a student and where the exam is established from the very beginning. I'm also teaching like Christian for the university, where we have 7 different sections with 3 different professors. Okay. And we need to have the same exam defined from the very beginning in the traditional way. So next week, I will have one meeting with 2 other professors just to define this exam. And like Christian, we are going to have some people using the small tool to supervise, to do the proctoring. And Alicia, what about you?
Well, in my case, actually, I don't need to use exams because I'm doing the MIMS and I'm just doing a workshop that takes place during the start week, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
so it's a kind of one-shot.
Exactly,
no?
exactly. But my motivation to be here today was to explore all the possibilities that are there, because, you know, if there's something we have learned the last couple of months is that nothing remains the way it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I am a person who traditionally likes exams where people need to reflect a lot. My whole life I've not been a friend of let's say multiple choice quizzes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But you know, just thinking, well, if we are heading towards a virtual world, there has to be a way to manage this in a way that makes sense. So that's why I am here today, you know,
So Alicia, we have here diversity because we have one professor in architecture with 18 students, Christian, that she's teaching in a course where everything is very well established from the very beginning with a lot of students, and you that you are teaching one shot. For one shot, the challenge is the teamwork activities. You will have some students in the classroom and some students following it remotely. So in a one-shot seminar or at the very beginning of the program of one of our programs, you need to change many things, not only the teamwork activities, but also if you are doing a kind of test at the end. So we need to rethink about that, and it's challenging.
Yes, it could be some sort of a poll or something like that, because we know that our students are competitive, you know, so you need, even if it's a one-shot thing, we need to keep them awake and feeling that they are going to be challenged somehow. So yes, I'm exploring things there.
Okay, so can you hear me? Yeah, can you hear me? Perfect. So remember, probably for the next course, you have everything defined in your syllabus, but as we are learning by doing, I invite you to share for the next course that you are going to design, to take into account all the different options that you have and to learn from what was not right for you in the next course. Exams, quizzes, combination of different type of session is challenging, but I think it's an opportunity to contribute to the learning process of the student in this new normal, to incorporate a student, to gain flexibility incorporating a student that are in class and remotely in the same classroom. So good luck for the use of these multiple choice exams, etc. For Christiana, I think the challenge is to prepare a very good exam, a fair exam that is going to be prepared with other professors. For Alejandra, I think you only need to rethink and be very creative to incorporate the exam, the quizzes, or the oral exam or the assignment. For you, Alicia, to define the best way for one short session, incorporating teamwork, incorporating a kind of auto-evaluation or whatever. So good luck and share with me your next steps. If you have any other question, feel free to ask me. I invite you right now to read in the chat your email. So I will send you right now at the end of this session the document I used. So please go to the chat and write your email. So you will receive right now the document. Do you know how to go to the chat? No?
There you go.
In the menu, you have more. Perfect. Alicia. Perfect. Thank you so much. Spend some time to go through the guide for liquid learning and to navigate through the different videos and webinars and faculty training that are there, just to be prepared for the liquid learning. Thank you so much.
Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
Felipe, and thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Thank
Have
you.
a good evening.
Bye.
Bye all.
Bye-bye. Have a
Bye.
nice weekend, everybody.
Yeah,
Same to you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.